Yeah. In your house with O'Con. Hey, O'Con in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Josh Joseph standing on his decisions. He is the voice. There is no choice. We as them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast just like cruiserweight action. In your house is the perfect distraction. Pumpers in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Whoa.
What is up, guys? What is cracking? It is the Con Man, and I am in your house. And you guys already know the vibes. Down the side of the door, here to give you that work. When it comes to this professional wrestling business, and that's exactly what we are here to do. And guys, it is Sunday, fun day. And you guys know what that means. That means it's time to talk a little wrestling because we're about to party, ladies and gentlemen, all right? It is time for a house party. And you know, anytime you come to a house party, it don't stop till we tell it to stop. So, with that being said, I got to bring in my squad, my team, my people who make In Your House great. And of course, you hear him on a Monday. You hear him on Fridays. And on Fridays, he gets hella extreme. That is the educator of extreme, the voice, Josh Joseph. What is up, man?
How goes it, house? How goes it, household? Grun's friends, my friends, anybody who's out there being hypocritical on a Sunday, I'm glad you're here with us, and I cannot wait to talk wrestling. Secret time. This Andrade Mello match from Friday is pretty lit for the 6th part in their series. I'm just throwing that out there. I know we didn't talk anything about it, but it's going on right now on my screen.
Oh, I hear it, bro. I can dig it. And I'm sure we're going to get into it because we're going to talk a little bit of SmackDown. But we can't talk SmackDown without the master of SmackDown, the man who covers SmackDown. That's our SmackDown savant. That's the blue-eyed villain himself, Grunmeister, back in your house. What's up, man?
What's up? I'm doing good. Yes, SmackDown was a very good show and some developing pieces that we're all going to talk about.
Oh, yes. We're
Grun keeping it tight to the chest.
He is, man. He's got some takes. I like it. I know he's got some takes. It's going to be exciting. We're going to have a real good time. And, man, you see the motion here as you guys are watching us here on YouTube. We are here on Facebook. We are here on Twitch. We're affiliated with Twitch, so keep those follows going. We got some work coming for y'all. Be ready for that. And you see the movement that's going down, the endless and swift and wonderful transitions. We can't do that without our producer. That is Hypocrisy Jones back on In Your House. What is up, brother man?
Yo, what is up out there, household? You know, it's always Smokey in Hypadelphia, and I'm ready to get this show lit, bro.
Hey, we love it. We see you over there. We see it. We see it. My man.
2 hours away.
Messing around with the mess around right here. And, of course, he got his wings there with his Red Bulls. How many of those Red Bulls is it going to take? How many is it going to take before you get the wings? Because I feel like there's some false advertisement going on.
I don't know, but we're trying to find out. And if I never get my wings, maybe I can sue Red Bull.
Hey, that's right. Hey, that's a possibility.
Yeah, let me save you some trouble there. They've tried that. They succeeded for a time. Red Bulls fixed it. So, unfortunately, you're smart idea.
Well, I'm always late on this stuff. I'm not on purpose, but I am always late on this stuff. But maybe they fixed it in the other way, and eventually I'll just start growing wings. I did notice these humps back here.
Uh-oh.
Like I don't know. So I don't know.
Get that checked out.
Have you seen your doctor?
Yeah. What's a doctor? Who goes to the doctor?
I agree with Jones on this one.
Oh boy.
Who goes to those quacks?
Those crazy people. Yo, we got some crazy people up here right now in your house. And when these crazy people get together, that means we got to talk a little bit of wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. And that's exactly what you guys come to do and to listen to us do. And you guys join us out there as well in the household. It's about to be noon. You guys are getting ready. I know your guys' football team is about to be playing, but come over here, talk a little wrestling with us. It's going to be a movie because we have a lot to break down. That's right, the Sunday House Party and Smackdown once again on USA. A lot of moving parts going on, but when we talk Smackdown, we always got to take it to the savant of Smackdown, and that is the blue-eyed villain, Grunmeister. Man, what did you think of this past Friday's Smackdown, bro?
This past Friday's Smackdown, it put in a lot of pieces for Bad Blood and for stuff to look at post Bad Blood, with stuff developing between Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes, with Randy Orton being stuck in the middle, Bayley and Naomi battling for the number one contendership, which Bayley did end up winning. Naomi, rightfully so, a little bit pissed about it, but
she didn't call Uno. She messed up. She didn't call Uno.
Yeah.
No, you got to call Uno, otherwise you get 2 more cards, bro.
Yeah. No.
Very true.
She did not call Uno fast enough. Tiffany and Nia, while best friends, Nia seems to have no problem threatening Tiffany's life at every turn.
No. Nia hit her with the reverse card, bro.
Yeah.
Naomi has set up all of puns for hypocrisy tonight.
Yeah, you could just pieced them up for him. Straight up pieced them up.
Yeah.
I'm a wild card like that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And we are likely going to get a 7th match between Andrade and Mello.
Oh my god, that series.
And LA Knight may or may not be involved in it if Josh has not finished watching the match yet.
I have not. I just witnessed Carmelo do this. He might have done this before in matches, but it's like he goes up for a suplex, but in that suplex he throws him and hits him with a cutter. And if you guys haven't seen him do this move before, it's something to watch.
Oh yeah,
Carmelo's nasty.
Oh my god, that young man can work for real.
He did attack LA Knight for no reason before the match.
For no reason? No, he has all the reasons, bro. He wants that.
LA Knight is nothing Mello. He's done nothing Mello.
He's holding the belt, man.
He wants that title.
Don't tell me about nothing. He didn't do nothing.
I'm going to check LA Knight.
He's doing everything, and Mello is putting himself in that position, bro. Don't tell me he didn't do nothing.
He's existing. He's existing with that title on his shoulder. That's what he's doing.
Mello, you lost to Andrade. You lost. Okay, you were down 3-2 at the start of this 6th match. Okay, I want to know why you think that you have a beef with LA Knight. Andrade is the one who beat you.
Woo, big words there from Grunmeister, but I want to throw it.
I don't know. It sounds tied right now. That's all I'm saying. It's 3-3.
It is just tied right now, but I want to throw it. I want to throw it to Voice, who's really been covering this specific series. Man, you're watching it right here in front of your eyes, bro. Where are you at with this series? And also, I personally like the involvement of LA Knight because now these 3 men are kind of tied to each other, and it has everything to do with the U.S. title, which honestly, having the U.S. title tied to anything that's going on with this match series is good for the title, in my opinion. But, Voice, where are you at with it?
Yeah, with what you said right there, that's ultimately the goal, making that U.S. title meaningful again, and which I think LA Knight has done that, but he's not doing it by himself. He's doing it with this series itself, and I'm going to say this has been one of the best series that WWE has put on in a while, and just the fact that we're seeing Carmelo work at this level really shows that whatever they've seen in him to bring him up to the main roster is proof. He's proving it 100%. I'm right now where LA Knight has just came out and he is staring at Melo. Like, this was a great match. I would definitely go, if you didn't watch it, go check it out. I could see this going, though, like we talked about in Bad Blood, and like what Grun said weeks ago, where he wants it to end. He wants it to end in a Hell in a Cell or a ladder match or something with some extra, just that extra bit. Yeah. And if you want to make it a 3-way dance between these guys, I'm all for that too.
Yeah.
But I want that best of 7 series to be finished completely with just those two.
I got the idea, guys. Just hear me out on this. Hear me out on this. LA Knight on a pole match.
What?
Like he's stripping on the pole? Like he's doing a 9 to 5 on the pole?
Is he twirling?
Bro. Yeah, he's twerking.
Oh, he's twerking. Oh no, that's a visual.
Okay, how long is this match? Is this a 10-minute match? Because I think I could do 10 minutes of LA Knight twerking. But over that, I don't know if I can.
He's like, more than that, I think I'm good.
Grun is cutting it completely.
I don't want to tell you how long this match is going to last, but we could ask your spouses what your average times are.
I don't need that information on the internet.
Oh, my soul.
We got Tony G coming in.
Let's just hope she's not calling you a Missy Elliott fan.
Show me what you
Tony,
got,
I think that's the right play. I think that is the right play. Have Carmelo win to justify Andrade bringing in Pentagon Jr.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Here as muscle or whatever, as a partner or something, and that can build up to Melo maybe eventually needing to call in some backup of his own. And we get Trick Williams on the main roster.
I love that idea, but I don't want it until Melo takes the title off of LA Knight, because I think your play here is Melo winning this series, and then Melo winning that title, and then bringing in Trick, because he's got to make sure that, because then that exactly, but then we know exactly what's waiting there: Trick Williams versus Melo.
Sure,
and everybody wants that.
Yeah, no, good stuff. So, okay, let me present this thought out there. And I'm not saying I want this to happen. I think we should have a definitive winner of the series. But what if we have match 7, like between Hayes and Andrade, and for whatever reason, maybe they do some bullshit where they like are down and like they cover each other and both shoulders are on the mat. Those fuck finishes. Every now and again, or maybe LA Knight involves himself and blows match 7 for whatever reason, and that leads, but that leads.
That's what I'm here for, man.
And that leads them to the triple threat match, which they could possibly do. Maybe they can hold it off to Survivor Series. Maybe they do. I don't know if they do it right at Bad Blood, because if match 7 is this upcoming Friday, that means they would have to set the triple threat match or any match that they did at Bad Blood for the very next night, and I'm not sure if they'd want to do that because they haven't really advertised the match, but at the same time they've kind of been building it too, but I don't know if they want to put it together like that short notice. Voice, what you got on it? What you got?
I was just gonna say, man, I personally, I think they need to have this triple threat in Bad Blood, and not to like take it this way, but like, there's a lack of something on this Bad Blood card. Like, there's been a lack of something on the past like 3 or 4 PLEs in WWE, and I'm just gonna be the one to say it. I mean, I think Bad Blood needs a little melanin.
Hey, yeah, it's true. That is true. I know there's been some talk on that on the internet as far as there hasn't been no black representation on a PLE in like the last
last 3.
But also, I mean, at the same time, who's the prominent black talent that's in the company right now? I mean, they're building Carmelo. They had Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley is gone. The Street Profits are still building. I know that they're about to have a triple threat ladder match, which, I love me.
We gonna act like Jaden and Jade and Bianca aren't a thing. I know they're hosting Bad Blood. They're officially the hosts of Bad Blood, but I mean, they've been hot.
Yeah, they have been. So when did they win the women's tag team championships?
2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago,
on a Monday night.
Was it on a Monday night? Okay, I guess that's true.
It must have been. Right. I'm sorry. It had been on a Friday. It would have been on a Friday. My bad.
Okay.
Yeah, it might be right. That might be right. I'm just trying to think about
that. Was that. Was that the season finale of Fox?
I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, you might be
right.
It
was. I'm pretty sure that was it season finale or is it season premiere on USA?
It could have been.
Let me just look this up real fast.
I was gonna say, it could have been that one. But I will say this. I think Carmelo has built himself up that he does need to start appearing on some PLEs. He's definitely like the one right now that I can think of. Once again, Street Profits are starting to heat up again. And then, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, they've been relegated to this tag team. But, Bianca Belair, I always see Bianca Belair as somebody who could be a main eventer. I like the fact that she's been able to take this reduced role and be in a tag team and really, like, you haven't heard no smoke about it. She hasn't bitched or complained or anything. Like, the utmost humility in taking a lesser role from somebody who was a WrestleMania main eventer. Like, that speaks a lot to her character. But it might be time to put her back in that title chase. It might be time to put her in that situation where she can be the EST once again and take over that division like we know for a fact that she can. She's still in the prime of her career. She's still putting out fantastic matches, as we saw with Io Sky in just the last couple of weeks. She still does a really great job with that. I say, if we want to talk about melanin on PLEs, I think that Bianca Belair fighting for titles and Carmelo Hayes being shown in a prominent position where he's not only participating in a triple threat match, but like the voice said, ultimately winning that championship, which I think is a good lane for him. I think that LA Knight, I think it's okay that LA Knight has a short reign. LA Knight is going to be LA Knight regardless. The fact of the matter is, we wanted to see him do something and win something. It's almost kind of close to like Jey Uso right now. We finally saw him win something. He finally won something. We saw LA Knight win something. Now, LA Knight, who's going to do great things on the roster, whether he has a title or not, let's just be honest, can transition that title to somebody who kind of needs it right now, that is going to be that young up-and-comer, that young upstart, and that young man who you're going to start seeing that melanin on PLEs, and that is Carmelo Hayes, because right now he's absolutely earning his spot.
I agree with that 100%. I mean, LA Knight's going to be fire no matter what he has around his waist, whether it just be a title or whether it just be his regular belt.
Yep.
I mean, the dude knows how to get the fans going, and Melo knows how to do it too in a match.
Yeah,
and you can see that. Yeah, you can see that with his work. And this Andrade feud that he's got going, this definitely cements the idea that Melo is meant for the main stage. And like I said, I think he's the next one who deserves to be the U.S. champion. And it would be fantastic for him and a big push. Going back to what you were saying about Belair, I think this is what always gets me with her. Mm-hmm. When she is the champion, she takes over. It's all like it. She is the division then.
Yeah,
and I think they know that. So it's kind of like they know what they have, so they play it, and she's okay with it. So when you have all those things working, you get mega stars. You get people that are talked about 20 years after their career. And with her, we're always going to be talking about her. She is just an amazing talent. And I cannot wait for this feud with her and Jade, because I think it's going to
elevate Jade, right?
Yeah, exactly. And Bianca understands her role in this. And yes, we all know that her role should be at the top of the mountain, but she can definitely play in the areas where she builds up other people, and we're talking about them in their career, and she's a big part of it. So I absolutely love where they're going right now, and I understand where you guys are coming from with the lack of representation, but I think that's about to change. And I don't think it was like a fuck anybody type of thing. Sometimes the storylines just don't line up, and you know, as we can make cases because we watch it and we always have these ideas, you know, we're also not in their writing room and we're not, you know, getting them out there. But I definitely would I would start the feud with Jade and Bianca now. I like it. I'm here for it.
WrestleMania, Las Vegas, Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill. I think that is a WrestleMania match. That absolutely is. Right now, or at least in the build up to the Royal Rumble, I think is a good time to start planting the seeds, to start kind of pitting them against each other, and then the blow up at Rumble, and then you have them stew and build up the heat for a while. But yeah, like I understand everyone wants representation, but it's like if the Hurt Business or the New Day, if they never clicked with the fans, like then what's the point of having them on TV as much as you did? What was the point of them being so hot as they were? They clicked.
Yeah, they were hot.
They worked. They WWE dropped the ball with Hurt Business. That is not up for debate. They dropped the ball. They had something really awesome, and they didn't. AEW is likely to get the Hurt Syndicate, which is MVP, Bobby Lashley, possibly Shelton Benjamin, and potentially throwing Hobbs in there, which, like, I don't know why you're throwing Hobbs in there, because it felt like he's there for the same reason Cedric Alexander was in the Hurt Business, just because we need another black person. It's like
you gotta try to even that out.
Like, I don't like me as a white. I don't want a white faction just because you want a white. Like, what the fuck's the point then? You're wasting my time because now I have to watch these dumbass white people doing something stupid. It makes no fucking sense. So, like, why would you want why would you want a faction of black people just to have a faction of black people? Like, that's not good storytelling.
It's not. But that's why. But see, here's the. Listen, I get it. Black power. I'm with it. But like, I'm with it. For my mindset, is like, look at the New Day, for example. Like the New Day, they were. He's like, I'm offended, Brucey.
I'm a dumbass white person. Okay. Okay.
Grun is now Owen. We will refer to Grun as Owen from now on. No, I'm sorry. You lost your spot. I know what you're about to say, but you lost your spot.
He was going to bring the photo up. I mean, we got the whole photo here. But here's the thing, though. Like, with the New Day, what's like? Okay, I'll just say it like this because I want to be as real and I want to be as like middle of the road as I can about it. I'm black and I'm proud of being black. Oh, there we go. Owen, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
I got video or picture proof.
There we go. This happened. We came out.
Sorry, Con. I just found the picture.
You're good, bro.
You're good. I know, but we replace you.
There's no replacing voice. Come on, man.
Hey, look, you ain't made no Black Power speech like Grun did.
But all right. Back to task. Hang on. Let me bring it back around. Here because I want to get to what I was saying, and that's the New Day. It was awesome to see the New Day and how the New Day was as a faction, and yes, it was awesome to see people of color come together and have such a prominent spot with the company. And it was great for a lot of young black wrestling fans that came up and wanted to see something like that. I will say it like this. It got to a point that the New Day got so over, it wasn't even the fact that they were black anymore. It was the fact that they had Booty-O cereal that was fucking hilarious. It was the fact that they was coming out of a big box of Booty-O cereal at WrestleMania in Super Saiyan gear from Dragon Ball Z. That was awesome shit. All the awesome stuff that they did over the years, even the fucked up time machine bit, like that, like all all that, like all the stuff that they did. It was great that there was that representation, but it's because they were just undeniably fucking entertaining, and that's what we need somebody to do and be, to just stand out and be in that spot and be in that role and earn that situation. And like I said, for me, you have somebody that's a perennial main eventer like Bianca Belair, and then you have a young blue chipper that's coming up in Carmelo Hayes. You have it right there. You got to start putting them on those shows if you want to keep those whispers quiet, because you have the guys there, you have the women there. It's just all about developing them, and I just think people need to be patient.
No, I agree with that.
I think so. Yeah.
So
like it's gonna happen. Like WWE has they have an awesome talent, an awesome roster. It's just going to take time. Yeah. You have the Chilean representation with Lola Vice, who we're all, I think most of us are in agreement that she's going to be a big star in WWE. Yes. You have Roxanne Perez representing the Hispanic culture, and she's only 22, 23.
And young prodigy.
Yeah, killing it. Like Julia Japanese, she's major star. Stephanie Vicker, I think she's also Chilean. Like WWE has diversity. It's just a matter of getting them to the point that they are ready to be that big star.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we're a little harsh on WWE, and especially like Paul Levesque right now. I don't always love the criticism that he gets, because like you just said, WWE is actually way more diverse than it probably has ever been in its entirety. And I know we're going to talk a little bit about the Vince stock a little bit later, but you know, if you guys watch that, even through its time, diversity was only used to invoke a reaction back in the day, and we don't do that anymore. We don't have the bad Russian Soviet as the big villain. We don't have the Iranian. We could. We
definitely could do the Russian angle again.
No, we absolutely could.
Yeah.
But
the personnel there.
Let me ask.
See that again. What? I am quitting pro wrestling.
Yeah,
I'm sick of that. I am not American. I fucking hate America. Fuck this place. This is why I moved here to fucking shit on this place, because I fucking hate it. I am either Russian.
Ways we can use this.
I don't fucking care. I hate America.
We gotta grunt.
Fucking enough with that storyline. It's fucking old as fucking. It makes no goddamn sense.
I think that's
You're not wrong. You're not right. It's lazy booking.
Yeah.
It is absolute lazy booking, and I get you. You know, you want to kind of merge reality with kayfabe sometimes.
Yeah,
but that's hard to do. And also, right now, because we're smarter fans and things like that, it's boring. We don't want to see that, because I could flip the channel to whatever 24/7 news coverage and see pretty much the exact same thing.
Yeah,
and like your wrestling needs to be escape from reality. Although it can have realism in it, it needs to be an escape. Perfect example is like when we used Jinder Mahal during his reign to be the bad Indian, bad Pakistani, Muslim basically, and it fell flat, bro. It fell flat.
Yeah, you can't do that in this day and age. People don't buy that stuff anymore. And it's just, once again, it just speaks to the evolution of the business, the evolution of wrestling and where we're going, that people want to see a different taste, and they want to see more stories. They want to see more facial expressions. They want to see more twists and turns and more wrinkles in the story. And that's just a perfect segue back into SmackDown, because I wanted Grun to talk to us a little bit about the Cody Rhodes, Bloodline, Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton situation, because there seems like a lot of wrinkles starting to come from that too.
Yeah, so when Roman Reigns made his return, post the Steel Cage Championship match between Cody Rhodes and Solo Sikoa, which Solo Sikoa lost clean without any Bloodline interference. We need to point that out. And so that led to a tag team match contract signing later in the evening, where it would be Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns teaming up to take on Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu at Bloodline or at Bad Blood. So Cody Rhodes initially said no. Then he came around and said yes, he'll do it. Randy Orton and Kevin Owens don't particularly like this idea. Yeah, Kevin Owens definitely, while Cody gave an explanation last night or this past Friday night, Randy accepted the explanation. Kevin doesn't seem like he is accepting the explanation. And that's because he's been feuding with the Bloodline longer than Randy Orton or Cody Rhodes. So he's got a bigger distrust and hatred of Roman Reigns than either of them do.
Yeah.
Now, I do believe this is the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Cody and Roman has made it clear. Has made it clear that he's coming for the Undisputed Championship.
Yeah.
So we know Roman is putting his cards on the table that he's coming for that title, but he does need to get his house in order. He understands that his house is out of order, and it's time for Solo to be put in his place.
Well,
Kevin?
I think something that Cody touched on when he was talking to Kevin and Randy is that one, Roman is an honest person.
Yes.
Roman does not lie. He has not lied throughout this entire time. Even when we were hating him because he was essentially telling the truth.
Right.
Whether it was I'm going to come in, smash him, dash him, and whatever, pass him, or whatever that the shirt said. Like he always told the truth. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think that was a good that needed to be noted. This is why Cody can trust Roman.
Yes.
Because you can trust Roman.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right because Cody did say, and Roman has said this time and time again, he would do whatever it took to retain his title. He never lied about that. He never said that his bloodline, that Jimmy J, Solo, and Paul were never going to get involved. He never promised that because he didn't care if they got involved because he wanted to. But he never said because he needed to know. If he were in trouble, do they have his back? Will they protect their tribal chief? And every time they chose to protect their tribal chief. That was the decision of their own making. Roman had no problem with it because he knew that his bloodline were in line and they were behind him 100%. Now,
exactly.
Yes. Now, this entire segment led to the creation of a tag team match as the main event. Randy Orton and Kevin Owens teaming up to take on Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. Cody said he wanted to make it a 6-man tag. Kevin cut him off. Then later, Cody said he's going to come out if you need help. Kevin said no. Randy said he's going to go talk to Kevin and tell him about that. We found out later that Randy never told Kevin that he gave Cody the green light to come out. So the belief the belief now is we are slowly seeing the Viper playing chess and setting up the pieces to where Kevin turns on Cody, and then when Cody least expects it, he's going to get hit with an RKO.
And it will be out of nowhere for certain.
Yep.
And it will be when Cody is a man without a family, a man with nobody to have his back. And that's very Viper of Randy Orton. Voice, I know we talked about that a little bit before the show. Why don't you go ahead and give us some of your insights, your thoughts on what Grun just said there in terms of what we could possibly be seeing?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like we're getting old Orton, heel Orton, the one that we fell in love with, the one that made that time in wrestling something to watch, because he was something to watch at that time. But my only concern, and I know that's everybody's concern, even though he has not told a lie in this, he's been very truthful, is still Roman, because I could see something where everybody is just playing into when Roman comes back.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see Solo, before Roman leaves, say he has a sit down with Roman, and they're like, hey, look, you're going to hold the spot, make it look like you're holding that spot, But once we get Cody where we in our crosshairs where we can just take him out, boom, we attack. Everybody sees me as the tribal chief again. And I could see this family falling in line because this family is ran by strong men, stronger men even before Roman. And what is said in this family and what happens in this family is dictated from the elders. And yes, we have lost some of the elders in their family, but at heart, they are still a family. They are still one. They are still the bloodline. No matter you want to call this side the new, this side the old, it's still the bloodline. There's still a common goal of the family going on. So I can see exactly where Kevin Owens is coming from. I've done this dance longer than anybody here. I know exactly what they're about to do, and you're just feeding into it. Listen to me. I don't care about your title. Everybody wants me to. It's getting to the point that if Randy Orton is playing these old games, Cody's going to have nobody left at the end of this. Nobody, they're going to be like, you're the stinky kid in class. We don't want to fuck with you. So it's going to be hard for Cody to maintain that title run after a lot of this starts coming out.
Especially with Dustin Rhodes is likely resigning with AEW.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're not going to see him showing up.
And he's also started his own school in Texas.
Yes, not only his own school, his own promotion.
Yes, promotion, yes.
Rhodes Wrestling Association, I believe is what it's called.
Yeah, I think we'll see Cody pull up there at some point. It's going to happen.
Oh, yeah. You know it will.
So, okay, let me keep the conversation going because we do got to transition into our next topic. But I think it was Hype who brought up a good point. So I wanted to bring it up before we hopped into our next topic past Smackdown here is I think we're all in agreement we want to see a heel Randy Orton and how great that would be, especially at this stage in his career. And we know the greatness of like the 09 bald Randy Orton. Like I said before the show, he tried to kill John Cena. He tried to kill John Cena with fireworks. He made out with the passed out Stephanie McMahon right in front of a handcuffed Triple H. I mean, just a heinous, sadistic bastard from 2009, and we all loved it. He's widely considered as one of the greatest heels of all time. But I will say this. He's been an amazing babyface in this run. Yes. This is probably his best babyface run I've ever seen him do. Hype, you were kind of devil's advocate on the heel turn. Did you want to expand on that?
Yeah. I don't want to see heel Randy. I don't care what you guys want, to be honest. Like, because here's the thing. Back in the day, Randy Orton did some dastardly things to people, but I think in the time he had to do what he had to do. I mean, the things that he did to Triple H, I can excuse because one, Triple H roofied his not even wife, forced her to marry him, consummated the marriage 3 times that night. And then later on in his life, cheated on her with a dead corpse. So
you got to do it.
Not Katie Vick.
I don't know. Randy Orton's never been a heel in my eyes.
Bro, he kicked CTE into RVD. Like, what the hell, bro? Like, RVD was slobbering, bro.
RVD wasn't going to remember it anyways, bro. I've been that high.
Whoa, Jones.
He be high, bro.
Hey, look, I'll just be Stone Cold Steve Austin on this subject. I don't care.
Oh, my God.
Damn,
Wow.
I do have a comment on that.
You may clarify.
So I've spoken to someone who's a medic in the Air Force. They've seen the clip. Their belief is that all that Stone Cold is saying is that he's never had CTE. That's what he's claiming.
Yeah.
When he said I'm not a CTE guy, he's saying I haven't had it.
Yeah. And I mean, like,
maybe. Listen. I know brain damage is a serious thing. It can happen. It's not something I really want to make serious light of. But in this situation, as we're talking about Randy Orton and his actions in a wrestling ring, not outside of a wrestling ring.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would say that I don't want to see a heel Randy because personally for me, it messes up a dynamic that I would rather see later on. If we turn Randy heel now, then he's going to be messed up for when he eventually faces John Cena later on in the year. I would like to see a face Randy versus a face John Cena because I think the dynamic is something we've never seen in WWE, and it'd be a nice palate cleanser for whatever we have for the rest of the year with John Cena.
You know, I agree. I truly do. I do. Like, I want to see a heel Randy Orton, but this version of Randy Orton, this iteration that we're currently seeing, it's refreshing, right? Like, it's really Randy just being Randy and having fun and just in a completely different bag. And I kind of would want to see that Orton go up against John Cena. Yes, I would.
Exactly.
These two just having fun, like it would just be like almost like an exhibition match almost, like if you don't have anything on the line. It's a draw in itself because these guys are so intertwined to each other because of the years of entertainment. Brother, I was tired of Randy Orton versus John Cena. They did it so much in the late 2000s. Like, that was literally their go-to when they couldn't go to anything else. They went to that well because they could, because John Cena and Randy Orton had great chemistry and clicked well. No matter what they do, no matter where it's going to be at, it's going to hit super hard. But yeah, I would want to see that face Cena, face Orton, absolutely, yes, because I can see them two guys just completely having a blast in the ring together.
I think so too, and it gives me vibes of what could be a better greatest wrestling match ever.
Yeah, if they want to build it like that, I mean, obviously it wouldn't be the truth, but it would. I mean, that's always going to be up for debate.
When he and Edge did it, it wasn't the truth at all.
It wasn't.
But this could be, if you don't bill it like that, it really could be potentially one of the greatest matches ever, because we know that they are both very wrestling ring acumen guys, very smart in-ring guys. We could see some things that we've never seen from them pulled off together.
So can I add to that? Just to your point, Randy Orton, and I think you guys will agree with this, Randy Orton, who has just a natural ability, a natural smoothness in the ring, one of the best in-ring competitors. And you can ask respectfully, I don't want to talk about the fans for a second. I want to talk about the people in the business, the people who wrestle, the people who work in wrestling. If you ask them who's one of the best overall, one of the smoothest in the ring, I'm sure a lot of them are going to tell you Randy Orton.
Absolutely.
And this is versus a guy like John Cena who got accused, and it was true for a while, of being Mr. 5 Moves of Doom. You can't do anything past A, B, and C. All you know how to do is work. What did John Cena do? He developed. He learned new things. He always added to his repertoire, always added to his moveset, whether it be the Cena Kanrana or whether it be, that Cena cutter that he used to do. And, he always tried to develop and learn and grow and move with the business. These are two guys that know exactly what they need to do to put on a great wrestling match, and them doing it at this stage in their career where they're not only a lot smarter and a lot more seasoned, but probably respectively both still in like incredible shape, we can see an amazing match between these two.
I mean, it's gonna be a moneymaker match. They're definitely gonna bring in it. I've never understood John Cena. I don't get it. I don't get his draw.
That's because you weren't a 12-year-old boy like me, and you're looking at a superhero on your TV screen battling the evil authority figures.
I get you, man. I get why everybody else gets him. He just doesn't get hit for me.
You're more of an alternative, like CM Punk type of guy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to pull a page out of Hypocrisy's book and just swing for the fences. I call him John Culture Vulture Cena. I mean, the dude came in. A lot of his passion. Grun, bite your hand all you want, bite it off for all I care. That's how I see the dude, and that's how I've always seen him.
Hey, you can't appropriate me.
Oh, God.
Jones, I love you. You are one of the best things that has ever hit this earth.
Oh, man. I love it.
But yeah, that's where I'm at with John Cena. I think this is going to be fantastic. There's going to be great storytelling. I like where Jones is going. He's trying to give us something different. Sure. Face versus face in this dynamic would be fantastic because, again, like Jones said, it's something we've never seen with them.
Yeah. For sure. I dig it. I think it's good stuff. But we do got to move on, and we're going to stick. This is kind of SmackDown adjacent. And I bring it up because me and Voice talked a little bit about it, but we did not get Hype's thoughts. We did not get Grun's thoughts. I want to talk a little bit about the situation with Rey Fenix. And Rey Fenix, who we broke the news last week on the Sunday House Party that Rey Fenix and Pentagon Jr. had signed with the company. They were already merch was being made. They were talking about, we're going to take you right to SmackDown, things like that. There was all kinds of different stories that was out there about it. And then boom, he was blocked by Tony Khan as he added time to his contract for injury time. And it's not a year, but it's close to a year that Rey Fenix will now have to remain with All Elite Wrestling. And Pentagon Jr., he can go. He is free to go and sign with WWE, which I think will be good because Pentagon Jr. will be a great singles competitor there until his brother can come along. But I mean, me and Voice gave our thoughts on it. I want to throw it to Grun, man. What are your thoughts on this whole situation with Rey Fenix and him being handcuffed to AEW for at least another 10 months?
So before I talk about we do need to acknowledge this is within Tony Khan's legal right to do.
It is.
So
that's true.
So we have to. Is it petty? Yes, we can call it petty. We can call it a Vince McMahon move because it's absolutely something Vince McMahon would have done, did do, and did multiple times.
Yes, he did.
Times this, no matter how you can say, oh no, AEW is going to try and convince Rey Fenix. Like, no, he's not. You're not. Rey Fenix has made his decision. He wants to leave.
Yeah.
He's made his decision. Jon Moxley, Dean Ambrose made his decision before he even heard about AEW that he was leaving WWE. So what did Vince McMahon do? He tried to make Dean Ambrose look like crap for the rest of his contract.
He sure did.
Now, yes, it backfired in a big way because fans just love Dean Ambrose.
Yep.
Also, the fans knew what Vince was doing. They're like, Nah, we're not gonna.
I remember that time. Yeah. They weren't buying it.
No, they knew. Everyone knew what Vince was doing, and people know what Tony's doing now. He's trying to burn up Rey Fenix's stock, burn up his momentum, burn up his reputation, in order to make him seem not that hot when he gets to WWE. And it's like, okay, fine, but here's the thing. Who's probably the two best luchadors of all time, Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero. Andrade's great. Dragon Lee's great. However, Penta El Cero Miedo, Pentagon Jr., and Rey Fenix, those two are the best luchadors working right now. That is my belief.
I'm sorry, can I add to that? Go ahead. I want to add to that.
We're going to say this when Dominic Mysterio is a thing.
Is Dominic really a luchador, though?
I love it, man.
Yeah. He's the greatest luchador first and foremost. But I digress. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I interrupted.
Yo, you're good, bro. I want to say I've watched Rey Fenix work like in front of my eyes at least twice. One time was at an AEW show. Was at an AEW show against Matt Jackson, and I'm telling you, Grun, you're not bullshitting, bro. That, my God, Rey Fenix does incredibly insane things in the ring. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah. Now, so all this is doing is hurting Rey Fenix. Rey Fenix his choices are work, actually appear on TV, and do stuff that's probably going to hurt his reputation, potentially get him hurt, potentially screw up his WWE debut in some sense, or sit on the bench for the next 8-10 months, however long it is.
Shit.
And if I'm Rey, like, I'd rather say, you want Tony, fuck you. I'm going to sit on the bench. I'm not fucking working. Okay? Because we were not trying. Rey and Penta, they were doing everything in their power to not stir the pot, to just fly under the radar. Let's say, like, Tony, we just want to leave. That's it. Okay? No hard feelings. Tony is just a fan who's mad that his favorite toys, or I'm sorry, his former favorite toys, are not happy about them not being his favorite toys anymore. Or so they're like, we're going to go somewhere where they'll appreciate us and they'll use us correctly. Okay, that's all we want to do. Okay, you guys keep doing what you're doing. We're not going to hate on you, but we just want to leave. So he says, no, you're not allowed to leave. This was petty. It was within Tony's legal right, but there's no reason why Tony really should have done this. This was done just to block Rey Fenix. That's all it was done for.
It's an archaic business tactic.
Like,
we talked about this. It's so archaic. Like, you're gonna really keep a guy like off TV, or potentially give him storylines that's going to hurt him, which, once again, we saw with Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley. We saw that they were putting him in crap. He was and he knew, and if you really, like, I think a more trained eye, like myself, I'm talking about myself, like, going back and seeing that is like, anytime you saw Dean Ambrose stroll out and he was getting, like, I think there was one time he got, like, beat up by Nia Jax or something like that. And you could just tell he was just coming out like, you can literally see the man was going through the motions. You know, he was not invested in what he was doing. He was just like, I'm out here. Basically, he's like, I'm just here so I don't get fined. You know, like that's exactly what it was. Like, so
he pulled a Marshawn Lynch.
Exactly. Like, it's an archaic business tactic. Yes, it is within his legal right. Nobody's disputing that. But, like, just the fact that we live in a day and age where, like, talent is like, we're more talent friendly now in wrestling. Back in the day, that was that venture where it's like, we're going to work you into the ground, or if you don't do exactly what I say you're going to do, I'm going to use some business tactic to fuck you over. We're supposed to be past that. And the fact that we're still doing it, especially in a company that's supposed to be cutting edge, that's supposed to be new generation and whatnot, and supposed to be for the younger crowd. Why are you doing a 40-year-old business tactic to cool off a talent when he's got a family to feed too? It just seems petty to me. I'm gonna stand on business with that, but I've already given my thoughts on it. Hype, give your thoughts, and we have some thoughts from Lou here too.
Yeah, look, it was the only decision Tony Khan had to make. I'm not the biggest advocate for AEW and the things that they do, and I continually ask them to get better, because I want them to get better because it's better for wrestling.
Sure,
but he had to make this move. And to roll off Lou's point there, one, Penta gets his own debut, right? Rey Fenix will get his own debut, which is much, much better than debuting together and having to share the spotlight. I think that's a pro for both of these wrestlers. I also think it's put up or shut up time for AEW. All right. I think it is an archaic tactic to force a person to stay just so you can cool them off. But I also don't fully see Tony Khan doing that. I think he's going to try to utilize Rey Fenix in every way that he can. And hopefully this is a kind of a kick in the ass to open up his creative and get out of his notebook that he had planned out 15 years ago.
So just adding to what you're saying, do you think that Tony Khan will try to give Rey Fenix a good run for the next 8 to 10 months in a tactic to try to convince him to stay?
I hope that is the case. Because although like when we talked about this in the chat, my first point was, I don't mind this. This is a Vince move. He did exactly what Vince would do. He did exactly what probably any businessman would do in this. If I am running a television show and one of my actors is trying to leave for another show, but I still need him or still could use him, hey, bro, nah, we got this contract here. You gotta, yeah, I'm sorry. They don't have to hold off their shit. I'm sorry. That's how business works. This is how you make money. This is how you live in this cutthroat mafia style business that is the world, but also wrestling. I don't have a huge problem with it.
Okay. I mean, this is why we do this, though, y'all. We have these conversations. We try to understand the things, and honestly, I can see that. I could see, because like I know we got a lot of thoughts about Tony Khan, and I feel it, I get it, but maybe he does feel like in his mind he can change Rey Fenix's mind and try to get him to stay. I don't think it's happening, bro. I sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, I don't think it's happening. I think Rey Fenix is going to see his time out, and he's going to get that individual pop for himself when he debuts next year for the WWE. But I do feel what you're saying. I do understand that. But guys, we have to take a break. We got to pay a few bills here. But when we do come back, we are going to keep the conversation with AEW, because we still have conversations happening about what's going on. Where's AEW going? What was Swerve Strickland talking about? We'll talk more about it when we come back.
Exciting things are happening at the Kokomo Press. Yeah, very exciting things. Not only are we bringing you comedy shows, an open mic once a week, skits, videos, funny jokes on our page, and satire news stories, but now you can support us by going to kokomopress.shop. It's that simple. You go to kokomopress.shop, you find a t-shirt, you find a hat, maybe in the future some stickers and some posters. You go on there, you buy one of those from us, and percentage of the proceeds will go to us and help support what we do. We appreciate every person who just likes, subscribes, does all that. But if you go to kokomopress.shop and you buy something, we'll know who you are. You send us a photo of it, we will post it on our page and shout it out. Thank you so much. Go to kokomopress.shop, buy all your shirts and hats needs, and support the Kokomo Press. Thank you guys so much. kokomopress.shop.
Hello everyone, it's the Pope Elijah Burke, founder and president of the Love Alive charity. I wanted to take this brief moment to share with you my charity's continued humanitarian efforts to positively impact the impoverished communities in and around the greater Jacksonville area. This cannot be possible without your support. If you'd be so kind, please take a moment to visit our website, love-alive.org, to learn more about the charity and its mission. Also, feel free to donate to our 501c3 organization that operates off of the donation of the public, which is you. Whether that be by website or via Cash App, $1 help makes a difference in the lives of others as we continue to positively influence many people by being the change that we wish to see in the world.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Sunday house party here at In Your House. And it's like I said, we still got a lot to talk about. We had a great first half of our episode where we talked about Smackdown, everything that entailed with that. We talked a little bit about Tony Khan using the business tactic to potentially cool off Rey Fenix. And we got to keep the news with AEW because, man, there was some news that came out. We don't know if it's official, but it came out of the mouth of somebody who has a very high-ranking position in AEW, somebody who is a former AEW World Champion who just signed a pretty lucrative new contract with them, and that is Swerve Strickland. And myself and Voice on a past episode of The Smoke Sesh, we talked about this possibility, and that's AEW going to Fox in a show called Shockwave. And there's been speculation about this, but man, I guess we'll just go ahead and play the clip here. Hype, could you lead us into it, bro?
Yeah. So random clip from Swerve Strickland. I don't know who shot this, but I know it was brought to us. We shout out Dirt Sheet Radio. We caught their post first, and then I think Fightful
caught it too.
Fightful also caught it. I'm not gonna lie, I thought this was satire, and as a person who helps to write satire, I 100% thought this was a satire thing, but I'm just gonna let Swerve Strickland speak for himself.
Sure.
We're about to get on Fox because Smackdown's leaving Fox, and then we're taking Fox.
You look, Fox and Warner Brothers. It's getting nasty outside. I'm telling you.
TBS, and Fox. We got all three of them things. And
it's getting nasty.
Yeah. So, there we have it. Swerve Strickland confirming that AEW is going to Fox. I guess the rumors of Shockwave are more than rumors; they are happening.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it is very, very interesting. So, I don't know. Like I said, I thought this was satire when I first heard it, but this is also great for the industry. We have more wrestling on network television.
Yes.
Look at that. Tony Khan actually finally doing stuff. Where's that Warner Brothers deal though?
Where's that match deal?
Yeah,
I've got a prediction. My prediction is that Tony Khan believes his company, that AEW is more valuable than Warner Brothers believes it is. Now,
I think so too.
Now he's got an amazing roster of talent that is not being argued. But Tony Khan, your ratings have been dropping. Like, you guys may not be in danger of being shut down, but you are not improving. Like, that is what Warner Brothers, what WBD is looking at, that you have not improved. You have signed bigger stars. You have gotten dream matches and stuff. That's awesome. But WBD needs to see an improvement in ratings.
Yes.
Can I tell you guys what I don't like about this?
What's that?
Every time AEW thinks they're in danger or hurting or needing to appeal to more people, the only thing they do is create a new show. Now, I understand that this was needed in its inception, right? You know, we needed AEW Dark because it was new, it was different. At the time,
to many talents, many
absolutely gave a platform to many talents. But we all know that once AEW Rampage hit, nobody was really watching Dark anymore, and then the whole debacle with CM Punk and everything happened. So what do? We created AEW Collision. Well, okay.
Nobody watches Rampage.
Yeah, now nobody watches Rampage. And I don't know how many. I think the Dynamite viewers have stayed pretty consistent. For the most part, they were probably not in where they were when there was the Wednesday night wars with NXT and AEW, but now we have a lackluster creative. We don't really have any great storylines other than, Swerve, Hangman Page, absolutely great storyline. And if you're able to follow the Danielson Nigel thing, that's a great storyline, but they're really just using past history that wasn't created by AEW in the first place.
Right. Yep.
To
people aren't
spark
going to get it. People aren't going to get it. We get it.
Yeah.
We know it. But
Yeah.
like the people who just started watching AEW, even when it's like, we just knew this guy as a commentator. We don't know, like,
why should I care about Nigel McGuinness? That like, he's had one match, and now he's going to have a match with Daniel Bryanson or Bryan Danielson, whatever. This is my thing. You can have all the shows that you fucking want, right? You can throw 15 hours plus of wrestling content out into the world. But it doesn't matter if nobody's watching. And I think we know this as podcasters, right? We can put on shows all the time, every day of the week, if we wanted to. But it doesn't fully matter until people are listening, people are grasping, you're getting feedback from those things. Yeah. You are actually connecting with other people through these avenues that you have created. I don't know if AEW is doing this. Now, counterpoint to everything I just said, going on Fox, I think will help.
Yeah,
but
I do too.
But it's only going to help for so long.
I think that honestly, it's a good thing for them to get on free television that everybody has access to, because it's been for somebody who only has basic cable. Now I can watch AEW now because I'm within those means, respectfully, you know what I'm saying? But like for people who don't, who just have like basic, television and stuff like that and want to watch AEW or don't have any that just nothing like that at all, they want to watch it, and it's not easy to find if you're just somebody just wanting to watch it on a weekly and stick with it and you don't have cable television. I think it's really going to be helpful for them in a big way to get on Fox, because Fox, while of course they have we know the history of Fox and wrestling right now, just based on what we saw with Smackdown, is that things can get heavily, edited in a way that can be obnoxious,
Absolutely.
But also, it might force AEW to switch directions or go in a different lane. And I think it might be good for somebody like Tony Khan to be in a situation where you're being put on Fox, and it's like he has that. I think he needs that pressure on him. I think that's one big thing, is that he needs that pressure on him to perform, to make the storylines juicier, to make people want to watch, that we're going to jump up those ratings. And I think Fox is pretty heavy on their ratings, and they're pretty like hard pressed on that, if I remember correctly about Fox. I think that pressure is going to be good for Tony Khan and AEW. So
I hope so. These things we've seen in history that, Vince McMahon, he needed pressure. Yeah. Right? He needed pressure, whether it was, hey, I have to pay this bill to my father so I can buy this company, and he doesn't take it all. Yeah. Hey, I need to make my product better because I have these competitors stealing all of my guys that I created, using them in the likeness that I created them as, and I need to figure this out. Right?
Yeah.
We've seen this. Pressure does build diamonds, but we'll see what happens, man. It's a weird business. It's a very weird business, because you could be as quickly as you could be hot and white hot babyface, or have all the heat that you want, or all the exposure that you want. You could have none of it. Yep. Just like that.
That quick, bro. Like wrestling like Bitcoin, bro. That shit is unstable, bro. Like it's here, there, up, down, up, down, up, down. You never know, bro. You really never know. And
I don't know. 45. He has a new Bitcoin cut or coming out. I feel like I can trust all of his financial decisions.
Bitcoin. Little bit of Bitcoin, man. And we got the Lou in the chat. He added something. He says Fox is definitely going to be on Khan about ratings and how their shows are put on. Fox will want their hands in it to know what they are going to do week to week. Yep, that's exactly right. That is exactly right. And like I don't know if you fellas remember when Fox first had SmackDown on all those years ago, when they did the WWE draft, do you remember when they had like Fox executives in like the rooms and stuff like that during that? Okay, so you guys remember that Fox will have their hands heavily on this in a major way that is going to really, really it's going to really show the maturity of Tony Khan. Let's say that because Tony Khan has just been able to be like, oh, Dad's money, I could do whatever I want. Nobody's got to put no pressure on me. Fox gonna put pressure on you, bro. So like I think it's great. Let's do it. I'm with it.
Yeah.
Voice, I don't think we really got your thoughts on it, man. What are your thoughts on AEW on Fox?
Well, I want to see it before I'm going to believe it, because we've all been at wrestling shows, especially indie shows. We've all had this discussion in a circle. We don't even know. I need to see the full clip of what he's talking about, because this could just be some dudes just back there just talking, because it's not on a show. It's not, and it looks kind of like somebody's just recording what he's talking about, getting a little snippet. So who knows? Maybe Swerve was just out there, talking shop with the fellas.
He sounded drunk.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah,
I was going to say, but he did sound like a little drunk. He sounded a little inebriated.
He sounded like a little hitting.
That's what I'm saying. Like, maybe it's just boasting talk. We've all been there. We've all been hyped after something that we just did. And we're talking about all the things that are possibilities. And that's what this could be. But until we see it, I mean, like you guys are saying, once he goes into that Fox world, they are going to have a hand in it. And you may not like what they say, but since you took that money, you've got to listen to what they say. So there's your thing right there. And I mean, has Tony really proven to us that he's willing to adapt to the times? Or has he proven to us that he's willing to cherry pick the things that Vince did, not the sexual assault stuff? Let's stay out of that lane.
Sure,
but we'll take all these other things, because either in my world, in what I see, there is black and white. There is no gray area. So if Vince is this monster that he has shown time and time and time again, and in a courtroom they are proving it, then all of his stuff. So we should move past all of it. We shouldn't hold Rey Fenix over there just because, well, we could do it. We're going to cool him off. Burp, burp, burp. Fuck off. You need to stop that shit, because it's a Vince tactic. Vince is bad. Trips is getting that. He's moving past it.
Yes.
He's going further.
Yep.
So Tony Khan has not proven to me beyond anything that he can capably handle a situation that involves AEW. And I'm so sick and tired of him. He built something that I thought I was going to absolutely love. And then week after week after week, he showed me he doesn't give a fuck about it. He just wanted to do what he wanted to do and fuck us fans. And that's fine. Be that way. That's cool. That's what you want to do. It's your company. But me as a fan, I don't have to watch your shit. And just because you're going over here, you haven't enticed me yet. Yes, you're holding Swerve captive over there. He is your one thing I want to see over there. But other than that, you've lost me as a fan. You've lost me completely as a fan.
And it sucks, man, because I was with you. Let's and then we have to talk about our last topic here. But I was with you, man. I was so excited about AEW, man. You do not understand. I wish we would have known each other back in that time, because you would have known that I was ready. I was ready, bro. I was ready for this combination of whatever they bring in from New Japan Pro Wrestling mixed with the style from Ring of Honor and just all these indie companies that everything, bro. Everything, dog. I wanted all of it, but time went on and it just hasn't panned out into, I guess, and maybe it has for them panned out for what they wanted it to be, because it's just super. I mean this in the best way. It's hard to say it like this because I work in the indies and I love working in the indies, but it's like a highly funded indie company, man. That's exactly what it feels like. It's a very, very highly funded indie company. And when I watch television wrestling, I don't want to watch I mean, I do want to watch great wrestling matches, but I want the stories to come around it, because I was always in the belief, for me as a fan, that professional wrestling is not a professional wrestling show. It's an actual show. It's a drama. It's a comedy. It's all these things, and they have disagreements, and they solve those disagreements in a wrestling ring. It's not that's the thing. That's what it is. It's not a wrestling show. It's a story where it's a show where they tell stories and resolve their issues with wrestling. And that's where the storytelling has to come into play. And I just there's been bits and pieces here. I'm not going to say that AEW's never told me a great story, because that'd just be a downright lie. But there's no consistency and there's no fluidity with it when it comes to their storytelling, like it is with WWE, where it's they're building on something little by little every week. It's something big, and that is where I want to see AEW improve, is just with better top-notch storytelling. You can keep the same talent if you can make me care about them, then you've really, really done something.
I fully agree with what you're saying there. You're right on spot with it. And, maybe they can in the future get me back with their storytelling. But right now, Tony's got to prove it before I'm going to dive into it.
Yeah, most definitely. I agree with that in great points. I mean, once again, I want to conclude it with, I want to see AEW do amazing things. I would love to see them go to Fox with this Shockwave show, and it just completely blow my opinion of them completely out of the freaking water, and they do something absolutely excellent, and this Shockwave show on Fox becomes must-watch TV. I hope that for them. I want that for them. I want that for wrestling. So I'll leave it at that. And move on, because we got to talk. We talked about one promoter. We talked about Tony Khan. We got to talk about another promoter, and that's who is widely touted and believed, and I agree too, is the greatest promoter of all time, but also the most controversial of all time with everything that he's done. That's Vince McMahon, as the Vince doc dropped this past Wednesday on Netflix, and my God, a lot of things came out of it. Nothing new if you're a longtime fan, but man, just a lot of blurbs out there and a lot of confirmations of things that were just absolutely crazy. Grun, I don't think I've heard you talk about this on a podcast yet. I have not got a chance to watch every episode. I think the only person who watched every episode is Hype, and we'll get his thoughts on it for sure, absolutely. But based on what you've seen from the drop, Grun, and maybe things you've seen on social media, or maybe some episodes you've seen yourself, what are you making of this documentary right now?
Oh, so far, I think it is telling the story of Vince McMahon, and also, revealing the skeletons in his closet, revealing everything that's gone wrong, or at least everything that has been very controversial about him. I've not really watched it, and honestly, I don't have a desire to. And it's not because I'm a Vince McMahon apologist. No, we have heard accusations from the late Ashley Massaro, how she had been forced into and to do things just like Janelle Grant, and we've seen Vince McMahon force Trish Stratus to strip to her bra and panties and bark like a dog on Raw. We have seen him try and almost pull off an incest storyline between him and his daughter Stephanie.
Yeah. Oh.
So it's he was crazy in the 90s. He is crazy in the 2000s. He is a crazy man that made the greatest wrestling promotion ever. And did that wrestling promotion fail in a few places? Yes, it did. There were times that it failed. There were times that it wasn't as good as it could have been. But I'm not watching it just because I know that he is not exactly someone that we want to be proud of, but is someone that we do need to thank for creating the WWE and creating sports entertainment while he was, again, he is not a perfect human being. He has done many things that are questionable at best. But I do believe that he deserves the credit and the respect for the good things that he did do. But at the same time, he's past. He is the past. Triple H is the current. So to all you jackasses out there calling him Triple K, all you jackasses out there saying that the Triple H is just Vince McMahon 2.0 or whatever, like, you're not watching the product. You're not a fan of the product. You don't understand the product or pro wrestling. So shut up and understand Vince McMahon was the past, but this is a whole new era, and it is better than ever.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, and I got to tell you, it is nice. As a longtime wrestling fan, I've been watching since the 90s, man. I mean, that's how long I've been watching this. It is nice that we live again in an era where, and I didn't think about this as a kid. I can't say that I didn't, but I'm talking about my adulthood as a wrestling fan, my adulthood knowing what happens backstage, my adulthood knowing the structure of a wrestling company. I can confidently say this. It is nice to live in a day and age where I trust the man with the pen in WWE.
Yeah.
Because I do. I trust Triple H. I don't think Triple H is a racist. I don't think Triple H is trying to hold people down. I think Triple H is somebody who is trying to manage the biggest wrestling company in the world, and not everybody is going to make every decision right. But a lot of the things that he's doing is. And he's helping the business. And if you want to talk about just the business itself, if you want to talk about that, he's doing amazing things right now. And he's picking up where Vince screwed up so badly over like the last, my God, not recently, but like 10, 12 years, where it was just unbearably unfucking watchable. And Triple H has done a damn fine job. I can say that I trust him right now, and not everything that he's done is perfect, but I do think that things will get better. But with the Vince documentary, from what I did watch, I mean, it's really just a thing where we kind of dove a little bit deeper into who Vince McMahon was as a person. I don't think we're going to see anything new about the allegations. Once again, like I said during the ECW watch-along where myself and the voice Josh Joseph talked a little bit about that, these interviews were from back in 2021, and I don't think legally they can say anything incriminating on this with the case still open. So I don't think we were going to see any of that. I think what you saw is exactly what you were going to get. I will say that I do have a growing thought, and I mentioned this to Voice. I do have a growing thought that the rumors of Vince McMahon trying to buy the documentary from Netflix, and then the statement that he put out on X about it. I have growing suspicion, and I've been thinking about it since I mentioned it on Friday, that was a work. That was all part. That was all part of trying to. It was promo for the. It was promo for the documentary. People are like, "Oh, he's trying to buy it back." Oh, he actually got some. Vince doesn't put anything on X that much, but he had something to say about it. There's got to be something damning in that documentary that is going to. And guess what? There was not really, from what I understand, there wasn't anything really damning in that interview. So I think that it was all promo. I think that it was all part to hype up and beef up the documentary and get more people watching. And honestly, if that's what they did, I think it worked. So I do feel like that, but. Hype, you're the only man here who's watched every episode. What are your thoughts on maybe what I just said, and then what are your thoughts on the documentary?
I hadn't thought about that at all, that the Vince stuff, him wanting to buy out the documentary and things like that. Like, I hadn't thought about that being work, but I think that's 100% spot on, because you can't tell me he's not getting any sort of money from this.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
First of all. And man, that makes sense. I didn't see anything damning in this documentary that I didn't feel like I already knew.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing, is that, like, one, maybe I know too much because I am a super nerd, and we dive into these things and talk about these things almost on the daily. But like, it validated some of those claims that I heard before. But then again, you have to take this with a grain of salt. That was probably the intention of this in the first place. And the only thing that I learned really from this documentary is that Vince seems to think that there's a separation between he and Mr. McMahon. Yeah. And I don't think a lot of other people feel that way. I think his ideal of himself is much different than the ideal that he has given other people, even the most closest people in his life. Because I think he is really one of those guys that really just doesn't know when to turn off the switch.
Yeah,
and I think that's the most telling thing, is that, yeah, he can say, well, no, I'm Vince, and Vince wouldn't do these things. Vince is a family man. Vince is a da-da-da. But we can see that when you're not supposed to be Mr. McMahon, you are Mr. McMahon. And I think you've been that way your whole life. I think some of the most, like, telling things was his relationship with his father. If you guys watch the early episodes of the documentary, and and the sexual abuse allegations that he himself had on his own parents, mother and stepfather, he has lived a very polarizing life. And I know, like, Boyce, earlier you said you live in a world where there's just black and white, but, like, here's the thing, man. Like, bad people can do good things. There are all sorts of bad people that have done good things for other people. Sometimes it's just who you care about in the ultimate sense. I think Vince is one of those guys where he only cared about himself. I know you guys touched on the part where Shane McMahon was talking about how Vince had a knife and was like, if you want it, just cut my heart out. If you want my company, just cut my heart out. When they, at a point when they were having an impasse about creative and about a lot of other things. Vince never stops. He's going to be a complicated guy. I think what's weird is this documentary came out. I don't think any of us actually see Vince McMahon going to jail. Right?
No.
Does anybody actually think that that's a possibility out there?
No.
I think
I think it's going to be too much hearsay, too much he said for his word versus her word, and
there's going to be a big check wrote.
Yeah. Well, I think the damage is done, right? What was wanted was, hey, we need to get him out of this company. Hey, we need to get him away from this place. Hey,
for sure.
Yeah. And I think the damage has been done. And, all the parties that are involved in it will mostly come out unscathed. I'm pretty sure we're going to see Brock Lesnar very soon on WWE television. And if you look at the things that he said, or was attempted to do or offered to do, like, he does not sound like the greatest of guys either. But we're still going to see these people. This documentary is very, very telling if you don't know a lot of history about, one, wrestling in general, two, Vince McMahon, and the things that were going on from basically 1980 in the 80s to the early 2000s, or the 2010s at least. There were some crazy times during that 40 year stretch.
So you watched the whole thing. There was the part where Tony Atlas was saying that Pat Patterson was grabbing his dick, or trying to grab at his dick. Like, what was that all about?
Yeah, he said Pat Patterson used to grab him by the dick.
No, I know that. And then I guess like the interviewer was like, "Why didn't you say anything?" He's like, "That's like the second."
Because he didn't want to get fired.
Yeah,
he didn't want to lose his job. It was just Pat Patterson was basically number 2 at the time, and I've heard these things too. Thank you.
We appreciate it. Thank you, Polar Knights. We appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming in and talking some wrestling with us. Hell yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But Pat Patterson was the number 2, and he, some of the biggest things, the alleged child porn ring basically that was going on in WWE, where Pat Patterson may have been kind of a part of that, but 2 other people were definitely a part of that. Happen. There's been so many times in the lifespan of WWE where you're like, hey, that's fucked up, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's been steroids, whether it's been the sexual assault allegations, and I'm not even talking about the new ones. I'm talking about the old ones.
Yeah. A lot.
And now we have the new ones, and I don't know, man. It's interesting because we see this shit right in front of our eyes. I don't know if you guys here lately. I've been diving into some gangster movies and television and things like that, and I've been watching the show called Godfather of Harlem. And if you know if you guys seen the show at all, it follows one American gangster, Bumpy Johnson, which I don't want to know how he got his name, but I have some ideas. But like I said earlier, bad people can do good things. Bumpy Johnson was a heroin dealer in Harlem back in the day, but he also put a shit ton of money in the Harlem community to help with schools, to help with the lifestyle, to help with everything that was going on in New York.
And Nipsey Hussle did that in the West.
Absolutely. We see people that are doing quote unquote bad things, but using them for good. I think Vince had an idea to do great things for wrestling. And he absolutely did, and we don't necessarily have to praise him, but acknowledgement is a thing. If we haven't learned this from Roman, but we can't overlook the bad things that he's done. We can't overlook the foul behavior, and at some point there has to be some sort of justice or some sort of stop to these things.
Yeah. I just think it's just a really interesting thing to look into. Once again, I don't think you was going to get any new information from this, but if you are interested in the mindset of somebody like Vince McMahon, Polar Knights, well, okay, we got the beard. We all bearded. So yes.
I just trimmed mine last night too. If I would have came in, it would have been out to here. It was getting insane.
I ain't touched mine in a minute. I don't know.
We love it.
Can I add something onto this? Just
Please.
What I'm thinking about. Okay, so I haven't watched it. I have no desire to watch it until all the court cases are completely done and they put out another one, which is going to reveal all the shit.
Yeah, part 2 is gonna be crazy.
Oh God, that's
exactly.
Yeah.
So here's what I would like to say. I will go back and say, yes, I did say black and white is how I view things. And that is pretty much how I view it. But I was speaking more when it comes to sexual assault accusations and things like that. Sure. When you get into that level, and that's where we're at with Vince. I mean, there's so many different sides of this because I'm a guy who goes out there and I peruse what people are saying on the internet on each side. And there's a lot going on with the idea that, like Jones alluded to, there could have been some horrible shit that happened to Vince in the day when he was a kid, which makes sense that he would, continue it because that's a thing that happens to people who have that happen to them. It can happen. It's not 100%, but it can happen. It's a variable.
Yep. Can I interject just quickly? Much like the Vince documentary. Okay, I watched that, but I also watched on Netflix the new Menendez movie or show. basically about the Menendez family and things like that. And basically, you know, their whole argument as to why they killed their parents is because their parents were doing foul things to them. So they justified bad action because of bad action, sorts of thing. And I think that is a thing that actually happens, and we actually do have to take that into consideration. Now, that being said, man like Vince McMahon, he had all the means to overcome these things.
That's exactly where I was going to go with that. Yep. With the Menendez brothers, I understand, you know, I can understand more to where they went to that desperate of a length.
Absolutely.
Now, Vince,
you can see that idea.
You had money. If this was an actual thing that happened to you, you had money. And I'm not trying to play Monday quarterback, but you had the money to seek out the help, to get the help, because not only did you do these weird ass storylines that kind of involved some weird ass shit with your own daughter or your own son and your daughter. There is also a talk about Stephanie and Macho Man when she was around the age of 14 to 15. And there's been many people, many people who have said that story actually happened, including the late Macho Man's wife. She said that he admitted that it happened. They were both consenting into it. I don't know how, but you see, what I'm saying is that he didn't get the help, so the dominoes kept falling.
Yes,
and plus he was in entertainment media. They were talking about this stuff in the 90s of seeking help if this stuff happened to you when you were a kid.
Right.
I mean, there is no button for Vince. There's no switch. There's no on. This is Vince McMahon, the character, and then it was never there because he brought his whole family into these stories. He was making out with women while his wife was pretending to be comatose in the fucking ring. Like,
well, if you watch the documentary, Linda actually touched on that, pause. But like it. She justified it as, well, we're entertaining people. We have to be those polarizing people. We have to evoke that emotion out of other people. And what will evoke that emotion? This might.
Yeah, but for what? Money?
I mean,
money.
You know, the real number 2 in WWE has always been Linda.
Yeah.
And I think if I'm being real, like, this documentary probably solidified that in my eyes, more so than anything else.
That's interesting.
I think the what we saw like in the Linda episodes was absolutely telling of a lot of things. And you know, we're looking at Vince, but she was right there.
Yeah.
And I know, like, I don't want to be the dude that's like, you know, well, you know, that this poor defenseless woman sort of thing. She had all the means as well.
Exactly.
Sure.
She is very educated. I mean, for Lord's sake, she's been a United States representative of some sort, appointed by the president. So, like, all the means were there for both of them. I think this is a systematic thing. And if we really look at it, it starts at the head, you know. I did touch on Vince and Linda meeting. Vince was like 17 and Linda was 13. Yeah. So maybe it's not weird, but it's a little weird, you know?
Yeah. And plus, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to play the guy who makes excuses, but back when they were younger, that was a long time ago from, well, you know, things may have been done different. I don't know. I don't know. We didn't live there. But yes, I can see where you're saying it. Now. Yeah, no, I get where you're coming from on that. It's lucky. So I'm going to end my segment on this with, I want to let anybody out there know if you're getting in a promotion and you're being asked things that you're not comfortable with, let somebody know. Let me know. Let anybody here in IYH know. We will help you. We will be your advocate. We will be your voice. But like, this shit has to stop in this industry. This is so many people's space to come and create and be safe and have whatever imagines they can have in a ring. I mean, for Christ's sakes, The Undertaker was a dead man. He died so many times, but we loved him. That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
You gotta just stop this stuff. This stuff has to stop. It just has to stop.
How do we stop this though? We can't police everyone, and I'm like
but
not making excuses for anyone. But like,
I get you. At
the same time, we don't know what everyone is doing. Sometimes the best thing that we can do is an after the fact thing. Hey, this happened. We don't want this to happen anymore.
It's a cautionary tale, and like we want, once again, like Voice is saying, if we're around, like we're there, you know what I'm saying? Like there to help people out. We can't police everybody, and I totally get that. But, like this is supposed to be something that people use to escape their problems, not create more and even potentially scarring problems from this. So like that's never what they're supposed to be about. But I honestly think that's I mean what Voice was saying there, and Voice feels real passionately about it. I think that's just a perfect spot to end right there and call this a really great episode. It has been another great episode of the Sunday House Party. We covered so much things, and man, it's just always fun anytime we get a chance to get together on a Sunday and chat it up. And but I know that everybody's football teams are starting to fire up now, probably well into the first quarter, I'm sure. Hype, I know you got some things you're going to be doing here in a little bit, and that's just a perfect segue to give you that opportunity to plug anything you want to plug. So, man, what do you got going on? Where can we catch you at?
Yo, what up, everybody? My name is Hypocrisy Jones. At least that's kind of what I go by. You can find me, of course, right here just about every Sunday on the Sunday House Party, hanging with my crew, talking wrestling. But we also do this all during the week, man. You can, whether it's finding Voice and Groon on Monday with Window Liquors, whether it's Khan and Annie on Wednesday with the Raw Deal, whether it's Friday in Groom's Room or the additional Friday with the ECW watch along with the educator of Extreme, the Voice Joshua Joseph, and the ever so concept of concepts, Alicon, the Concept House. But you can find me. I do my behind the scenes work here. You can find me right here, but I also do this little thing called the Kokomo Press, bro. And actually, I got to get out of here to get ready to go do that, bro. We drop a podcast every Monday morning at 8 a.m. We introduce you to different people in my neck of the woods, bro. Whether they're artists, whether they're businessmen, whether they're OnlyFans models. We don't care. We don't discriminate, man. But we also every Thursday night at Cooper's Pub in Kokomo, Indiana. If you were in the Indiana area, in the Midwest, Central Indiana area, come check us out. We do an open mic comedy every Thursday night, 8 p.m. at Cooper's Pub. It's free to come, and we accept anyone to sign up. So just shoot us a message by 7 p.m. Say, hey, I want to do this. And if it's your first time, we give you a little liquid courage for free, bro. Thanks to the people at Cooper's Pub, they give you a free drink for all first timers, man. We've been doing this for over 6 months now, and it's just grown and grown and grown and grown, blowing up out there. Also, check out KokomoPress.shop for some Kokomo Press gear. Grab yourself a Consent Matters shirt because it's mine. I made that because consent matters.
Awesome stuff, man. Awesome stuff. Everything that you guys are doing over there in Kokomo Press and all the work that you do here at In Your House, man. But talking about a guy who does some good work here, he does good work on Mondays as a co-host on Window Liquors, on Fridays in Grun's Room. That is Grun, man. I know I just kind of told him where they can find you out there, but like, what else do you got moving, Grun?
Well, you know what? I do stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/Grunmeister. I'm actually going to be shifting my schedule a little bit next Friday because I got plans to do a co-op stream with a buddy in Lords of the Fallen.
Cool.
Which is a Soulsborne game. So I'll do my Friday Smackdown stream either earlier Friday or maybe Thursday night, but it'll be out and you'll still be able to listen to it on everywhere we post our podcasts.
Awesome stuff.
Beautiful.
By Grunt and everything that he does, man. And man, another guy you can catch on Monday and Friday is doing great work. That is the voice Josh Joseph. On Fridays, I call him the educator of extreme, but here he's just the voice Josh. Where can we catch everything that you're doing, bro?
All right, so like everybody has said, this Monday show, come check us out. It is me, Grunmeister, and Kevin Calloway, and we talk Raw. We talk 3 things and then 2 special topics that my co-host, they get to pick. They direct. They take the steering of the ship at that moment, become the captain, and I am the captain. You know, it's amazing times, so come join us at 7 p.m. You'll absolutely love everything that we're doing out there. And also, on Friday, I go a little extreme with House, where me and him go back in time, usually late 90s, where we look at ECW. And as you've been following for the past 2 weeks, we've jumped into the storylines, and the storylines have been great. It has been focused around Tommy Dreamer going against RVD and Corporate Sabu and fighting over who controls ECW. Come join us. It's a fun time. Anywhere between 6 and 6:30 is when we go live.
Yep.
So come join us, and then we'll kick you over to Grun, and you can have a fun time in his room. And then you can always catch me here giving my opinions. Kind of, they give me a bigger yard in this one, and I get to just, rant like you've seen in this show. But right here, IYH, this is my home. This is where you can find me. I could be behind the scenes in front of a camera. It doesn't matter, but I am here at IYH.
And we appreciate all the work that you do. And I appreciate all the work that everybody does here at In Your House. And you guys already know where I'm going to be at, right here, doing my thing at In Your House, making sure everything goes how it needs to go. And it does. And we're doing a great job. Wednesdays, you already know what we do. That amazing Monday show, Window Lickers, where they talk about the 3 subjects there for Monday Night Raw. They go ahead and give us that. They throw the alley-oop, and me and Annie slam dunk it on Wednesdays for the Raw deal with House and O'Neil, where we kind of talk about the stuff that the Window Licker fellows were talking about from Monday Night Raw. And we kind of expand on it, and it's always a great time. Of course, it's been mentioned, but I'm happy to mention it again, and that's on Friday when we do the ECW Watch Along series. Recently, we have been getting into ECW Hardcore TV and seeing some of their amazing shows. You can definitely catch a 10-minute Chris Candido promo there and and enjoy every second of it, man. It's been a blast. I've been having fun with it. And then, of course, the Sunday house parties here have been absolutely amazing. Last week, we talked about some awesome stuff, and then we also talked about a lot of things that we're talking about now, like the signing of the Lucha Brothers. A few weeks ago, we had our season premiere with Jack Vaughn, and that was great. And on Thursday, we've been having a show that has been really doing great things. And that's our guy here, the world's most dangerous podcaster, Paragon, as he's been giving you Dear Pro Wrestling. Himself and Kevin Calloway have been doing a really great job. This is specifically for you young up-and-comers in the business that are looking for tips and hints and ways to maximize yourself, maximize your brand in pro wrestling, and really just a lot of good cautionary tales of what not to do and what not to get into, and proper etiquette in professional wrestling. Highly recommended if you guys are getting into the business, and they have been doing really well on downloads, highly downloaded in our last top 5 episodes in the last month. So you guys already know where I'll be at, and that's going to be this coming Saturday. That is at Emerge Wrestling, Emerge 82, where Paragon will be defending his Emerge World Heavyweight Championship against TNA superstar, top-notch Jason Hotch, and that's going to be a fantastic match. I'm going to be doing a lot of work. The rundown for Emerge is going to be coming out. I will be doing a sit-down interview with Matt Diesel as he goes into his upcoming match against Lord Crew for the Emerge Outbreak Championship. Once again, Emerge 82, Thrills and Chills, Bartholomew County Fairgrounds, October 5th. Come and check us out and everything that we are doing. But guys, we got to skate out of here. Call this a really great episode. And guys, also before we do that, we do have our house party coming up. That's November 30th. We're going to be doing some amazing things. We're going to have our first ever live podcast. We're going to be giving out all kinds of amazing prizes. It's going to be great. Thank you to our donating sponsors for making this awesome. It's all part of the work here at In Your House. And guys, we're moving to make this event very, very, very massive. Once again, our first ever live podcast, where we will most definitely at that point, because it is the same day, we will be previewing Survivor Series War Games on our live podcast. We will also be giving you guys our since it'll be right before the show, it's a perfect time to do a prediction show for Survivor Series War Games. Since it is the same day, guys, we're very excited for what we're going to bring you guys, and hopefully we can bring you a lot more for that day, because we're really working towards it and trying to make all the right moves to make this just damn awesome for everybody involved who wants to come out. So with that being said, it's all part of that work. And where's that work at? Oh yeah, it's that W, because that W stands for work. That's HOWSE. So for Hypocrisy Jones, for The Voice, Josh Joseph, for the Grundmeister, for Kevin Calloway, for Divinely Designed, Danny O'Neill, and the world's most dangerous podcaster paragon, I am Alakan, the Concept House, here to remind you to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to hop on this bandwagon. Get on or get gone, because the household is still going mighty strong. You guys have a great day and a great rest of your week. Peace.
Yeah. In your house with O'Con. Hey, O'Con in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Josh Joseph standing on his decisions. He is the voice. There is no choice. We is them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast just like cruiserweight action. In your house is the perfect distraction. Pumpers in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smoke.